Brother Allen, it's a joy and a privilege to have you here today to present the first copy of the book that I've seen that you have written. I'm looking forward to it because your life story reminds me very much one which I read in the Bible this morning again to refresh my mind. The story of the man who went from the pit to the palace, Joseph. His dreams in the early childhood seemed so real to him, but he wound up his brothers putting him in a pit, and he would have died there if one of his brothers had not rescued him. So they pulled him out and sold him to the Ishmaelites. They took him by camel train down into Egypt, put him on a slave block, and sold him for, his brother sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. I don't know what Potiphar paid for him, but he wound up in Potiphar's house, where he was framed by Potiphar's wife, and then he wound up in prison there again to question his dreams. He must have spent some hours in that pit wondering if his dreams would ever come true. And now then, down in a strange country with his father believing that he's dead, and he's in a prison in the palace, or in Potiphar's house, but he interpreted the dreams for the butler and the baker, and God used that to get him out of the prison and into the palace, where Pharaoh promoted him after he interpreted his dreams to a very position of being maybe second in command to him. And he wound up his dreams coming true by his father and brothers coming down into Egypt to get food during the 7 years of famine. And everything was according to God's plan. Nothing was wrongfully done. God had a plan and a purpose. You've been through it. You sat in that van wondering what in the world is going on. Just like Joseph sat in that pit and in that prison. But then when God brought him out and gave him the ministry of saving the entire Jewish nation from being depleted and dying in a famine, and they came down to live in the land of Goshen. And the land of Goshen was a fine place for them to be. There's always a Goshen after the pit and after the prison. My prayer for you is that you and your dear wife will be in the land of Goshen. And God will bless you to bring a lot of people out of captivity, out of the brokenness of their life, and bring healing and restoration. God bless you. We love you, and we give you our blessing. And I want to read this blessing to you from Deuteronomy chapter 28. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, the fruit of thy ground, the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord caused thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee from thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and all that thou settest thy hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Alan and Tarina, the Lord bless you. In Jesus' name, the Lord bless you and your ministry.